G'day movers and shakers, it's the 12th of February 2010. This is the week that was. You may remember last week I told you about the Christian missionaries who were arrested in Haiti on child kidnapping charges. And if you kept up with my blog this week, you would have heard that the Haitian judge had denied them bail and remanded them in custody. Well, in a stunning reverse decision on Wednesday, a judge has ordered their release. That is to say, not bail, but release, citing there were no criminal actions. Apparently in Haiti, if you're white, Christian, and from America, it's not against the law to steal other people's kids. Now, you just know there is something dodgy going on. Something, I suspect, like this. Hey, I hear you guys have 10 of our citizens in jail.
Yeah, they came and stole a bunch of our citizens, children. It's really appalling.
Yeah, they're just nutty Christians. I'm sure they meant no harm. The kids have been returned, haven't they?
Sure, they've been returned, but they committed 33 counts of kidnapping. We have to show an example.
Look, Guy, if you go ahead and imprison these Christians, it's going to look really bad on us. So we'd have to make an example out of you and pull out all of our aid from Haiti. Do you get me, Guy?
Hey, clerk, I'm ordering the release of those 10 Christians.
Okay, so I have no evidence of any of that ever taking place. But given the hard stance and then the sudden turnaround, you know it went somewhere along those lines. So maybe it wasn't the State Department. Maybe it was somebody else. But it's likely that somewhere, someone made a threat. Which to me isn't right. Justice should be justice regardless where it is. And it's also sending a bad message to the Christians, that they're okay to flood into these countries and start nicking whatever kids they like. This week is obesity. First, I need to point out that there is a difference between fat and obese. When you have a few extra pounds on you, like I do right now, that's fat. That doesn't mean you can't be fat and healthy. You 100% can be if you live a good, active, healthy lifestyle and eat in a balanced way. Obesity, on the other hand, that looks like this. These are people who have ignored all rational thought and let greed take over. And that's what it boils down to. Selfishness and greed. And now these people have gastric bypass surgery, which, let's face it, is just another way for them to not have to deal with their own issues. Why worry about gaining self-control and becoming less selfish and greedy when you can get surgery that lets you continue your behavior and still lose weight? And now, in a Western world of obesity, we're teaching these same habits and behavior to our kids. We're making it okay for kids and teens to go under the knife and get gastric bypass surgery. This to me is appalling. Look, children can only become obese if you, their parent, let them. If you fail to give them a balanced diet, and you give them too big a meal portion, and you fail to make them get off their butt and go outside and play. That, to me, is child abuse. Plain and simple. Now, does any of this mean you can't go down to your favourite fast food joint? Hell no. Does it mean that you can't have cakes and cookies and candy? Hell no. Does it mean that you have to cut off all the fat from your meat? No. After all, that's where all the flavour is. But what it does mean is that you can't go to fast food joints all the time. Look, once a week is plenty enough. And it also means eating cake and candy and junk like that all the time is bad. But what it mostly means, food-wise, is you need to eat a balanced diet. Everything in moderation is key. And beyond that, what it ultimately means is do not stick anything in your mouth that you are not willing to work off. And no, I don't mean the gym. I mean through an active lifestyle, which is free. So, to all the obese people, learn some damn self-control. And to all those parents of obese kids, take charge of the situation and sort it out. Because you know what? Both you groups of people are really starting to irk me off. Facebook have announced a new layout which has begun being rolled out across their network and will finish up in 2 weeks' time. But by the end of the first week of rollouts, Facebook have received over 1 million complaints about the new layout, citing everything from bugs to usability and assorted other faults. And of course, there are a large number of users who simply don't like it because it's new. But even though 1 million complaints may sound like a lot, it actually only represents 1/400th of the total Facebook users, and as such, Facebook has no plans to cease their rollout. This is a move, however, Facebook may live to regret, as tensions rise amongst disgruntled users and people begin to deactivate their accounts. And while 1 million complaints may be very small compared to the total active 400 million accounts, it only represents the users who have actually found a way to contact Facebook with a complaint, which I must say is even harder now than it used to be. One must either know the direct link to be able to leave a complaint, or be able to find somebody else who knows it in order to complain. Which makes it no surprise then that only 1/400th of users have been able to do so. But even though Facebook seem unwilling to hear the complaints about their website, it is likely that users will begin to vote with their feet. The Australian unemployment rate has dropped to 5.3% after another 50,000 jobs were created in January, leaving economists strangely stunned. See, the thing about the Australian economic downturn, as opposed to the recessions found in countries like the USA, the UK and Iceland, is that ours wasn't genuine. It was artificial. Australians were told by Prime Minister Kevin Rudd and Treasurer Wayne Swan that we were in recession in October 2008, before any other country had announced such a thing, and Australia hadn't even recorded a single recent month of negative growth. In fact, Kevin Rudd and Wayne Swan went on to make the claim about a recession many other times throughout 2009. Giving it even as a cause to put the nation into $361 billion of debt. So with all that talk about recession and financial instability and debt, of course people have stopped spending, which led to job loss, which boosted the economic figures, making the government seem like they might be right. But it never was. Australia never went into recession. A fact Wayne Swan now seems to think he can take credit for, when in actual fact it was he who caused the financial downturn in Australia. So, in conclusion, I would expect the unemployment rate in Australia to continue to drop relatively sharply over 2010 as the nation returns business as usual after an artificial financial panic. That's all we have time for in this episode. Be sure to catch our special broadcast tomorrow on the new Facebook layout. But until next Friday, I'm TJ Marks. Be sure to stay happy, stay healthy, and stay aware.